Welcome back to the show. We are very excited as we are going to introduce one of our very integral members of the TDC staff, Ally Turcotte. Ally, thank you for being on the show today.
Hi, Jay. Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well, you're not only a facilitator, but you are one of our success stories. So why don't you tell our viewers, sort of the elevator pitch on how you got involved with the channel, the success story that you wanted to share, and then we'll talk about what you're doing today.
Yeah, so I came to Toronto in 2018 to return to film school, and up until that point, I had mostly worked in customer service jobs. So I basically said, I really want to make some changes to my resume that better matches my experience and the education that I have. And TDC sort of opened its doors and said, we have this great program. Why don't you come and join in? And then immediately after the program, they said, hey, would you mind taking over for the program? Because they really liked the work that I was doing. And I've been here ever since.
Yeah, it's great, Ally. You've been a great asset to the channel. You're a great teacher. So it's now almost 223. So you've been with us almost 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, that's very, very nice. And now you're sharing your experiences and hopefully your success stories with your students. So tell us a little about what you're doing now today with the channel, about the two programs that you're teaching.
So yeah, I've done a few things with the channel. I've sort of worn many hats, and one of the things that I do most often nowadays is I teach two of our employment training programs, and these programs are designed to help people to, just like I was, to get new skills and sort of expand their repertoire. We do put a lot of focus on the media stuff, whether that be production or things like social media and marketing. And now with the Mohawk program, the partnership with Mohawk that we have, we're also teaching accessible content creation. So things like captioning and things like how to properly do alt text and how to create web accessible documents and things like that.
That's great. So if somebody was interested in watching right now, do they have to be disabled? Do they have to be a veteran? Like, tell us, is there any requirements?
Yeah, we tend to focus on people with disabilities or people who are veteran, people who are basically in vulnerable situations looking for an expansion of skills. And we don't see it as like, it's not a 4-year program. It's not a massive commitment. It's a 14-week program. We have the Digital Ventures program for those people who are sort of new to all of this. And it's an introductory in things like social media and digital content creation, and eventually sort of moves into production. And then we have the Mohawk content creation program for accessible content creation, and that talks more, it's a little bit more academic in the sense that it talks about disability rights and keeps you updated on those things, and then rolls into like captioning and all of those kind of the ins and outs of creating more accessible media, descriptive video, those kind of things.
So we have a couple programs out there, and tell our viewers how much time they would take you to join for a week, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 hours, 6 hours. What about that?
It's usually for the program with accessible content creation, it's a 3-day-a-week commitment for 14 weeks. And then for Digital Ventures, it's a 2-day-a-week commitment for 14 weeks. It goes from usually 10 a.m. to 2. Those dates can be flexible depending on what we're doing and what's going on in the studio. But that's about the hours that you're looking at.
And is it strictly still online, or are we back in person yet?
Do you know what? We have some hours that, like, some of your working hours might be in person, but for the most part, the courses themselves are run online. So it's very flexible, and it's designed to be so that more people can join in wherever you are.
So if we have viewers or people watching right now or listening, what would be the steps? What would they do if they say, "Oh, I like that. How do I get involved? What do I have to do?"
You would be contacting yourself, or you could contact, if you have an employment worker, you could contact through them and they would contact us directly. And there's an application process where you would meet with one of myself or more likely one of our admin and facilitators to sort of interview and check in on your skills and see where you're at and what programs might be the best fit for you.
So maybe go to our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. You can just, I know there's a Dropbox there, so you can fill out your information. Someone will get back to you. I just want everybody to know that these are fully government endorsed and financed and supported programs. And during COVID, our facilitators are so good at what they do and so passionate about helping people that we had an 85% success rate for placement during COVID. So, and it's growing. Right now, we're Ontario. We're going across Ontario. We want to go across Canada. We're going to be introducing the same type of programs with a little bit of adjustments to the veterans. So I do want to thank the Ontario government, Mr. Doug Ford, for supporting us, for believing in us. And now with the rest of the ministers, especially Carla Quattro, federal, that we're going to be taking our programs national, hopefully, and serving more persons with disabilities and veterans. So Ally, I really want to thank you for what you do. I want to thank you for coming on today and sharing all the success stories from yourself and your students. And again, letting people know that if they do want to start a new career, try something new, and we're here to support the community, support persons with disabilities and veterans. And you can check us out and enroll today. So Ally, I do really thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely. And I do want to say it is a growing industry because, of course, there are things that are changing around the laws around accessibility and what does and does not constitute accessible and appropriate for people with disabilities. So, of course, if you are someone who has a disability and you have these fantastic skills, you have a better chance of getting hired for exciting new job positions.
Well, that's a great way to button up the interview. I really appreciate that, Ally. So I really thank you for coming on today. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with some updates regarding the channel and how people can further get involved or ask us questions. So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show. We'll be right back.